From Studio 3C in Rockefeller Center, this is News 4 New York.
Tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of the first World Trade Center bombing. There have been significant changes in the way we secure our buildings since then, but could another attack like that happen again? Here to talk about that is Sean Brown, the general manager of Datawatch Systems. Sean, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Eric.
So briefly, tell us what Datawatch does.
Datawatch is a security provider that does outsourced managed services related to security and the infrastructure of security in commercial office buildings.
So the big question is, it has been 20 years. Of course, it was a truck bomb in 1993. Could an attack like that be successful again in this day and age?
You'd never say 100%, but I would say today that the security measures that have been put in place by most building owners in the city would negate most of the chances of that happening.
What are some of those measures?
Some of the measures that are in place are bollards that have been, concrete bollards and planters that have been put around the perimeters of buildings.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot.
You see the Delta steel barriers that are around Wall Street near the stock exchange. They've put turnstiles in lobbies where your public comes in to enter the building, visitor processing systems to bring the public in. I think the real change out of 1993 was that public buildings are no longer public anymore. New York City made a change on City Hall immediately after. They changed the layout of the building such that they could broaden and make the City Hall much more secure, and they even closed down the stairs in front. So again, that's an example of what's happening.
What are some simple measures that people can take if they haven't done so already that could also be helpful? And if you could speak to the parking garage, because this, of course, in '93 was a parking garage that was infiltrated, basically.
The parking garages today, I think, are now monitored randomly by bomb-sniffing dogs, mirrors, ticketed parking controls. They're no longer public. They're private access now. So you're a lot more scrutiny on trucks and the cargo that they carry. So I think that today there's a real focus on paying attention to what the cargo is and what the truck is and who they're visiting. So I think that you're now approved or not approved to get into a building.
And that's something that personnel can do, or building owners can do, make sure they have the personnel to do these kinds of sweeps?
I think it's a combination of personnel, buildings, guard staff, building staff, and technology. And technology comes from the equipment that's used at the perimeters of buildings, access control systems, security systems, CCTV systems that have all progressed dramatically since 1993.
So of course you're here because tomorrow is the anniversary, and you say it's important to pay attention to these anniversaries because the risk can be elevated.
The risk is elevated, and the agencies, security companies, police departments are all acting as if there's a big anniversary tomorrow, and they're aware of it, so they're on alert. But I think to the public, that they should be aware of their surroundings, and it's the MTA's motto, if you see something, say something. If you're in a building, the same thing is true. If you see something that's out of the norm, say something.
Okay, Sean Brown, thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us your input.